Good morning, everyone. I know we are just streaming in, but those who are checking in, but a bit of a question for you in the stream. Those who haven't used Menti before, have a go to www.menti.com. Put in the code you see on the screen and have a go and answer the question. We'll see how many people turn up. We'll get started very shortly. I stream Valorant. I don't play Valorant, funny enough. I don't know, I'm too old for Valorant. You know, people playing violent games these days. I bet that my year 10s are playing Valorant right now. I'm gonna have a quick look, right? 'Cause obviously, we're in class right now, right? But, let's see. No, my year 10s are actually in. What are they doing? Oh, never mind. But, you know, I don't play Valorant. Play League? I don't know. Well, do you really want to play League for Hardstuck Silver? Old-fashioned people. What's this of like people with like YT next to their name? You know, just Rex Dianzi YT. Actually, that is legitimately a question I forgot to put in this quiz I'm doing. What game are you playing right now? Type in chat. What game are you playing right now? I actually am playing League right now. Ever since we went to lockdown, I've been off training and been more leaguing, which is not fun when you're playing sport all the time. Welcome, by the way. There's about 46 of you right now. We're just chilling, we're vibing for a bit. What champ do I main? At the moment, my mains are Lux, Senna. I've got Lulu as my pocket pick. Hey, it's Jonah. Dude, Jonah, I go back a long way. Well, what I need is it's a super chat donation, right? I'm sure, by the way, I think, you know my actual channel, right? This isn't my actual channel. I'm sure you know what my actual channel is. Oh, Kaiser is a mean champion. And of course, we all know that when you play a league, the first thing you do is mute all. Yummo. Alright, how's it going? I've got 66-ish people. I know many of you add on your school accounts, and that's fine. Sometimes they don't work on YouTube. The best bow that I have, I can actually. That's a request from the chat that it's the best bow that I have. This is not scripted for the screen, but we'll do a quick look here. That's the best bow that I have. Actually, it's not, but it's the only one I have with me right now. It's in the room. This is a Chinese bow. This is the the Mariner Ming Moon. It's actually based on the same period of bows used in the Mulan movie. So if you're familiar with the Mulan live action that was just released on Disney, it's very similar time period. So this would have been that sort of thing there. So very nice bow. I rarely use it. It's a bit too heavy for me. But back when I used to train a bit more, I'll be using this. Not my competition bow, but it's my fine traditional bow. Anyway, those who are in chat right now, have a go at menti.com. Have a look at the the screen. There's a few of you joining in there. You can put emoticons. I didn't know that. All right. Mr. Thick has joined us. Miss Walsh has joined us. So hopefully you guys are chilling and vibing well over there. And we are going to be starting very, very shortly. So, hope you guys are doing okay over there. It is very windy today, which I'm glad I'm not outside shooting. But hopefully you guys are doing alright. I've made a slight mistake in my stream. I should put a low latency, so there'd be a bit of a delay in what I'm doing. But I've done this before, I know what I'm doing, so I'll just pretend we have this live stream lag, but we should be good. Feel free to enjoy yourselves in chat, guys. This is a pretty fun session, and this is really here for you to have that reality talk here. This is the real talk, a bit of motivational speaking, and I had the chance to talk to a lot of people in putting this together, and I want to share some stories along here. So enjoy yourselves, guys. We'll be moving on very shortly, perhaps in another couple of minutes. But if you haven't already, go on to menti.com. The code is on the screen, and there'll be quite a few prompts and questions for you. This is not a place for us to judge. This isn't a place for us to kind of criticize each other. This is really for us to be honest, especially at this time where we're doing things unusually. We're playing more games, perhaps spending more time on the screens. But it's the sort of thing which hopefully we can narrow down and kind of think about moving forward after this. It's funny. It is funny that we have all these people talk about League and gaming, because that's actually one of the big things I'll talk about a bit later on. I stopped playing League 10 years ago, and I only came back because of lockdown. And there's a reason why I left the league. Not because of toxic people. That is one of them. But there is... Hey, Carl gave me 100,000 Vietnamese dong. Thank you very much. That's like, what, $2 or something, right? Alright, let's make a start, guys. Let's enjoy ourselves. Okay, so thanks for those who are joining on the Menti. That gives us a bit of an idea. It's only 35 people. I know there are 70 people here. So if you haven't already, jump onto Menti, menti.com. There'll be a few questions which I want your input on. So you'll see there's a code there, menti.com, code 1670 what? 70 what? 1676 12 and 2. I've got I feel human. Seems nice. I've got good, great, tired. Yeah, fair enough, tired. You what? I like how people are typing full sentences. So that's you didn't have to. It's one word is fine. That's completely fine. Amazing, happy, some positive vibes, relaxed. Tell you what, I wasn't very relaxed, doing that. Do I have a silver play button? Yes, I do. Unfortunately, it's at school. As a flex, so let me tell you a funny story, right? So, we were doing parent-teacher interviews, and I had the silver play button stuck on my desk. That's where I put it now. So when I tell students to find things on my desk, I tell people, hey, it's the Wonder Silver play button. But anyway, the new play button is actually highly reflective. And the play button itself, actually, I might show you the thing right now. I don't have it here, but I do have a photo of it. So if I switch over to this, you can see my play button over there. And you can see the play button itself. It looks like an embossed kind of a plaque. It's actually not. It's a hollow piece of glass with a reflective material. The thing's quite cheap, sadly. The old one seems better. If you've seen YouTubers with the old play button, that's like a black background, that's a really nice play button. This one is like a cheap kind of wood plastic, and it's like glass with a piece of stuff of aluminium foil in the back. It's really cheap, but it's very reflective and it works as a mirror. So before parent teachers, I was looking into my play button to do my hair, and that was like the flex I could do the other day. All right, let's make a bit of a start on this one. All right, so I reckon we'll turn the music down a bit there. Hope you're enjoying yourselves where you are. We'll be doing a few interactive things today as we go through our quiz. Not a quiz so much, but it's more that it's an interactive presentation. We'll talk about gaming a bit later, perhaps if we have time. But this is a narrowing down of looking at what we can do with our time. I've called this live up in real life, and this is the nature of our theme here, because we are a lot of us are playing games. So I'm a gamer, many of you are gamers, and a big part of this is looking at how much time we spend gaming and what that time could translate to. And I've got some stories, some personal stories. I've brought people on board for this presentation, had the time to share their experiences. And what people your age, not my age, I'm like 100 years old now, so your age, people in your position can do a lot more. Because it's one thing to be told by your parents or your teachers that you spend too much time gaming. And believe me, yesterday we were doing phone calls with parent teachers. So many parents were like, oh my god, you spent all day playing games. Okay, I'm going to roleplay this. This is for you Vietnamese students, but I'm sure you can relate to this. Imagine I'm the dad, right? It's kind of like, on the mum especially, it's like, hey, này nào thằng này nó tối nào cũng bấm game hoài. Alright, now if you can relate to that, a big F in chat. Alright, that's what people say. So it's like your parents will say, "Này nào cũng ôm game." It's like we hug the computer, we hug games, or we just push buttons. And our parents don't know what really is like. Even my dad, like I live with my dad, and like he sees me on the computer, and half the time I'm like playing League or I'm playing something else, and half the time I'm teaching, half the time I'm marking or doing a YouTube video. But to him, it's all games, and it never looks like I'm doing work. That's been the case for me ever since in like high school and university. It never looks like I'm doing work, even though it is. And I can relate to you here, right? You might spend like 2 hours doing maths homework, but you spend 5 minutes, like launching a game or watching a YouTube video, and your parents think you're lazy. So if any of this applies to you, a big F in chat. All right, so that's I think a lot of us can definitely relate to that. Mega F's in chat. Do I know Sensei? Maybe I heard of him. He's been to my school once at least. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through. I wanna open this. Like I said, the goal today is to recognize a few things about how we spend time. But I want to start off with a few interactive questions. So if you haven't already, again, have a look at the Menti. We had the first question. If for those who are still on Menti, I want to ask you a few things. Again, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna judge you on what you answered. It's anonymous, but I want to get an idea as to how we're spending our time and what we're doing. So let me move to our next question here. So because we're talking about motivational goals and goal setting, this is the next question. There are 3 things here. Use the slider to answer this question. So how often do you feel? The first one is motivated. The second one is lazy. The last one is distracted. I'll give you a moment to have a go at sliding the things across there. We'll see we're going to average, alright? So if you're always motivated, well, it's a lot there. If you're always motivated, slide it all the way to the right. If you're always lazy, slide all the way to the right. If you're never, then to the left. We'll see how we go. Give about a minute to do this. Let's get some vibe music going. I feel like we need some vibe music. There we go. Let's see how the results go. We're just vibing. I do need a Clash team. I've played Clash before. I hate One for All. It's still hyper for me. Let's see our stats here. So looking like, I think motivation, yeah, just over half the time. Lazy a bit more often. Distracted more often, fair enough. And especially now in lockdown, it's easy to be distracted. Spoke to a lot of parents yesterday, and a lot of people were feeling a little pressured and distracted with phones, games, and all that. I know for a fact that a lot of us are on Discord and kind of like chilling and playing games. So, things are happening. Things are happening. I know my Year 10s are on Discord right now, so I might spam my my video there for the Year 10s to join in. Alright. Alright. Now, our next question. This is an organizational one. Do you use a diary or a planner? Like, do you actually use something to record what you do each day? It might be like goal setting. It might be like I need to do homework. It might be a personal planner. Do you use a tool, whether digital or paper, that helps you organize your time? That's a question. I personally don't. I hate diaries. I never got around to using them, but a lot of people do, and there's a reason why I'm still asking this question. So, have a quick answer: yes or no. Just spam me on Discord to my Year 10s. Hope you can join us and have a bit of fun. Not bad, not bad. Alright, so I think only 9 people out of 51 use diaries. It's funny because we make you use diaries in Year 7, don't we? So you're going to write your subjects out, you're going to do all these things. And the reason why I find it hard to use a diary is that I don't check my diary. So the irony is that we say write in your diary so you don't forget, but I forget to check my diary. So doesn't mean you shouldn't use one. There are ways around that. There are digital diaries now, your phone, because we banned phone in schools, so that didn't really work out too well. But there are other ways to organize. That's our second question. I might move on, so you missed out too bad. Alright, our next question. Alright, this is I think gaming will be the answer for most of us here, but the question is, what hobbies do you have outside of school? Okay, this might be music, it might be dance, it might be a sport or particular sport, it might be watching YouTube videos, might be playing games, of course, or gaming. So just type out, and I think that I'll give you a maximum of 3. But what are your hobbies outside of school? We've got sleep, Instagram, and YouTube. What else do we think? What do we do outside of school? Oh, bikes, badminton. For those who are spamming bread in chat, did you know that bread in French is pain? And that means the French eat pain for breakfast. That's hardcore. Do I stream on Twitch? No, I don't. I have a Twitch account, but I don't use it. I love this vibe music. I was just wondering, this is the Lo-Fi Beats channel, the one with the Lo-Fi Study Girl, the best music study too. I mean, I know a lot of you listen to like anime music or listen to other music, but like lo-fi is so nice to listen to when you're working. Taste the pain, huh? Which means for those who watch Naruto, pain in Naruto in French would be like bread, right? Oh, I know what seal is in French. I know what seal is. You can't fool me. Looking good here. We have, it seems gaming is the biggest draw card. Okay, that makes sense, but let's try and dissect a bit more. Good gaming, drawing, I do drawing too. Sleeping, I do sometimes sleep, music, video games are there, more specific games, League, Rainbow Six, YouTube is a big one. Horse riding, okay, that's a thing. Watching streams, watching YouTube videos, reading manga. I always tell my classes, yes, I read anime and watch manga, and people die. That's good. Okay, and do I have another question here? All right. So, and we're gonna go to a different set of questions now. All right, I'm gonna kind of get an idea of what you do. All right, so we've asked you what you do. I'm going to kind of narrow it down to when you do these things. Okay, so I want to put a series of questions to you about certain days and times, and people will buy different things. So my first question, you've seen already, is what would you normally be doing on a Saturday morning? Okay, now I know we're in lockdown, it's a little different here, but what would you normally be doing on a Saturday morning? Vid school seems to be very popular. I know many of us are stuck in vid school. I was like that. I was so happy to have finished vid school. I don't watch Pokemon. I don't watch streamers. I don't have time. I mean, here's time to watch streamers when you stream all the time, right? What's JoJo? I don't know. Is that a JoJo reference? Good, yeah. Vid school. Playing PS4 with the boys. I like. I haven't a Sancho these. You're pulled a vid school 3 times 5 years ago. And if I was your parent, I'd say this is a disappointment. This is a great shame on your culture and your family. You bring a name down, but it's probably a good thing in that case. Definitely not the most fun place I've been to. I don't hate vid school. I hated it when I was in school, but now that I teach vid, I kind of appreciate it a bit more. All right. So that's our first daily question is, what are you doing on a Saturday morning? I think sleep. It's either sleep, gaming, or vid school, since it's been the main one there. Well, I love how you just relate to each other like this. Awesome. All right. Okay, I'll move to the next question, as some people are still doing this, but move to the next question here. All right. So, on a normal weekday, and I don't mean on a lockdown weekday, but on a normal weekday, when things were somewhat normal a long time ago in the distant past, at 6:30 a.m., what are you doing? I think sleep. If your answer is not sleep, I'd be kind of worried. Either you're late night gaming, or you're a very hard worker. But 6:30 a.m. on a weekday, what are you doing? Okay. Watching soccer games? Okay, fair enough. If watching like Premier League, that'd be like in the early morning. He wakes up then. It's absolutely true. Playing League at 6:30, or like squeezing like an ARAM game or something. No, legit. Like, this is a good question. Like, who wakes up that time? That is a legitimately good question. I mean, some people do wake up early and they go to school early, but that is there is a reason why I'm asking this question and why I think most of us would be sleeping. Yeah, I think sleep is the universal answer. All right, looking good here. All right, so let's be a bit more realistic, okay? So 6:30, the majority of us are sleeping. That's fair. So our next time slot is 4 p.m. So normally in a school day, you would go back to school. Now, some of you might be still going back home. That's fine. But let's say after school, 4 p.m. What are you doing? This is 4 p.m., not 4 a.m. So you see Mackie spamming a baby seals in the chat. Homework! Whoa. Okay, for the person who wrote down playing 2K20, exactly which 2K20? Is it FIFA? Is it NBA? Is it NFL for those who play that? We got League, they got homework and games. Okay, so League and games put in the same thing. Homework and chores. I love how you schedule a toilet break at 4 p.m. Very organized. I'm very impressed. I think as a teacher, the word homework being displayed very prominently makes me feel very happy. I think homework is the one. Alright, our next question. Okay, being a bit more unrealistic now. We're going to skip ahead a bit of a time skip. Anime time skip. We're going to skip 4 hours. 8 p.m. on a weekday. What are you normally doing? Sleep is a viable option. But 8 p.m. 8 p.m. So evenings, nighttime, what are you doing? WWE 2K20. That is trash. So 8 p.m. What are you doing? Training. This is, it's like you fell asleep on your keyboard, your M key. So gaming, dinner. I think gaming is the biggest one at the moment. Grinding a Fortnite. I see a lack of homework. So I guess like 4 p.m. is your homework time. Yep. Okay. Gaming, fair enough. Go on Compass. Yeah, right. Whatever. I don't believe you. Anime, gaming. Okay, so mostly have fun. Recreation. Sounds good to me. Alright. Here's another one. When do you normally sleep? Now, I'm aware that my scale only goes to midnight. Alright, if you go past midnight, you can go slide to the end there. You know, we don't really officially endorse people sleeping past midnight, but that's our maximum for today. So what time do you sleep? Slide that. We'll see how we go. This is I love this question. I just thought a bit last minute there. I thought I could do multiple choice, but let's just slide this. Let's say our average sleep time. And maybe, it's funny because Mr. Thika asked me to do a video about sleep. You might remember at the start of the year, we did a video about breakfast. We were thinking about doing a video about sleep, and maybe this would be an interesting part of the experiment to see what our average sleep time is. So it seems on average we're hovering around 11. And this is after 50 people. 11. Interesting. So that seems to be our average. So that's a pretty consistent result there. So we had a few smarties who were going on the 8 p.m., 9 p.m. side, but it seems to be 10 and 11, mostly 11 when we sleep. That's interesting. Imagine sleeping indeed. So we had a few early things here, but the reason why I wanted to show this to you is to focus more on what this all means. Alright, the reason why I brought this here is I want us to think about how much time we are actually spending playing games and doing things which perhaps aren't particularly productive. And I don't want to be the sort of person who says, like, don't play games. Like, I'm not the Asian dad who thinks we're just wasting time. And it's a gamer myself, and you all know this too. On my channel and on my on my other stuff, I play a lot of games, and I really appreciate the entertainment factor and the need to chill out, just chill out for a bit. It's a big form of escapism, as we say in big adult words. But you're just chilling out, you're kicking back the boys. That's what I used to love doing. But there were some questions which, especially I love having mentioned League early on because I've come back to an old habit which I didn't like when I was your age. And I stopped playing League. I started playing League in 2009, and I stopped playing 2010 after Season 1. So the reason why I stopped playing a lot of these online games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, the 1.6 back then, games like World of Tanks or War Thunder, the big part of like online gaming and multiplayer gaming is I thought I was stuck in a circle. I was stuck in a rut because you're grinding things, right? That's different. To me, it's different when you're playing a single player game like Assassin's Creed or Batman, because it's like you're watching a movie but you're playing it through. But playing an online game, it's like the definition of insanity, and you've heard this before. The definition of insanity is when you do the same thing over and over again, but expect a different result. It's like you play a game of League and you expect to win, but you know there's going to be a feeder, there's going to be someone trolling, or someone who's flaming you in chat, and you just end up having the same crappy game over and over again. And the question I would raise is, was that half an hour or 20 minutes, or if it's a 45-minute match monster, is that really worth it? Is it really worth spending that much time playing games and coming out with like a negative LP or coming out tilted? Is that really something which you really enjoy doing? And that's what I'm raising in this presentation in the next 15 or so minutes, 20 minutes, because I want to talk through this because, like, for a long time, I divert a lot of my spare time towards other things. And that's what I'm calling it leveling up in real life. Rather than leveling up in a game like League or leveling up in any other game, you're grinding it, unlocking items, are there things you can grind and unlock in real life? I want to start by going through our goal. We've gone over time here, but I want to spend more time on this because this is so relevant to you guys. I want to share this, not because I'm flexing, and I will be flexing later, but I want to share this with you because these are life lessons which I learned going through school, being a gamer, kind of rebelling against my dad and sort of stuff, but kind of looking at what it means to use your time well. Now, I have two goals for here. The first is, I want us all here to appreciate what it takes to become good at something. Not just at League. I mean, League is a good example. Gaming is a good example. You play a lot of games, you play a lot of it, you will become good. And people take League very seriously. People take rank very seriously, that sort of thing. That makes sense. And the more you play, the better you become, hopefully, unless you're really like hard stuck. But the thing I'm trying to talk here is not just appreciating the time it takes to be good at things beyond gaming, but also to recognize what high achievers do. These are the good habits. And one thing I find is like a lot of us feel quite helpless in gaming to an extent, but in real life, a lot of us feel like we don't control things. So when people get a really high achievement, like they win an award or they do really well in a test, it often comes down to, oh, you're so smart, you're so talented, or oh, what a nerd, you get this really like this smack talk. I know some people do it for fun and just joking around, but some people actually do are toxic. They do have this streak of envy and jealousy that you want to take people down. So someone who legitimately works hard, you dismiss it very easily as just it's talent or they're a nerd. And often we forget, and because we're so used to doing this, either it's a joke or either we actually believe this, we don't really appreciate the actual effort it takes, and we don't normally see people who go to the effort. I mean, I want you to imagine you guys. I love you playing League, right? Like the idea that your parents will respect you for playing like 3 hours of League per night. That's ridiculous. Like no parent would respect that. But instead they'll make you do 3 hours of like tutoring or 3 hours of vid school, or they'll make you do 3 hours of homework or something, right? So they value the time commitment for certain things but not others, and I understand that. But let's kind of work the time around. Let's kind of use that time factor. And I'm not saying get rid of every bit of gaming, but let's think about what this means when it comes to translating kind of virtual achievements to real life ones. I want to talk briefly about me. This is me. You know me by now. I think I've trolled you and flexed enough, but very briefly, that's me in high school. I was 18 then. I was in year 12. That's me. That's me back then. No, that's my 18-year-old face reveal. This is me right now. Let me try to get the pose right. I'm posing this way. Right, hand down, and yeah, close enough. All right, so that's 18-year-old me, and the reason why I was in this paper was because I was featured because I won every award when I was in school. I was like the poster boy. I'm sure there is someone in school, in your year level, in your primary school, who wins every award, and I was kind of that person that year. All right, I won every award, and one of the awards was this one. Now, I'm kind of lying here. I didn't win this award. I was nominated for Australian of the Year, Young Australian of the Year. I lost to a guy called Quado, who you might know as Ando's little brother. Ando's that also comedian, Asian guy. I lost to his younger brother. So this is way back then, and it doesn't matter. I didn't win. The point was I was nominated by my school. That was one of the biggest honors. Not many people know about this because it wasn't reported. This is after school finished, but this is one of my crowning young achievements. And this is the sort of thing. As much as I would be proud of this, as much as I would be happy about this, the sad thing about this is that, and I know people in chat are kind of like, having a bit of fun with poking, saying that people are tryhards and all that. But that's exactly the thing, right? People have this idea where being a tryhard is a bad thing. And that's really the wrong way to go about this. Because a lot of us saying this, but we will actually legitimately believe that we want to support people. But when we say people are tryhards, what we're doing is we're bullying them. And people grew up thinking that if I get called out for working really hard at something, then I'm not going to do it. It's like when people who get really high scores in tests, they will feel like they're overachieving, like their friends will make fun of them. And the intention, I have seen people, as your teacher, I have seen people intentionally score badly on tests. And that is something which I don't want you guys to kind of start doing. I don't want to see you guys, even just as a joke, make fun of someone for doing really well. Because we are surrounded by so much negativity. We're surrounded by so much pessimism by our friends, by our family, and by our parents, that when we work really hard, it feels like we don't deserve it. Even though working hard is exactly what we want you to do. And that's what gets you the results. I want to fly through and show you a couple of things while I'm still vibing. And there's a reason why I brought you here. These days, of course, and you know who I am by now, right? I'm a YouTuber. I've got 160k sub channel now. I'm an archery coach. I've got international fame and recognition as an archer. A small thing here, but you guys weren't around when I did this, but the house logos were my designs. I'm not an artist, but one of the things I was when I was house leader a long time ago was I designed all the logos for the houses. So all your shirts, all the banners, the logos you see, they were my designs. And that was one of the best things I've done for the school. And I'm not saying this because I'm flexing, but legitimately, as someone who doesn't really do art, I don't do this sort of stuff normally. For me to achieve that was like a crowning moment, because it's something I wouldn't ever do again. I could have not done it. When I was approached by Mr. Lakakis and Mr. Kostas, and they said, "Hey, David, can you focus? Can you, can you design things?" I'll ignore the camera for now. Don't worry about that. There it is. I'm focused. But can you design things? I could have said no, but I said yes. I went for the challenge. I put time in. It was a long design period, which is completely voluntary. I could have made money from this, but I didn't. But the point was that I chose to do these things. I invested time. And there was no reason why I shouldn't have done it. Like, legitimately, this is what people would pay like hundreds for, and you would make money through like royalties and stuff. But again, it's the notion that when you say no to things because you're try hard, that's the exact sort of thing which we don't want to see. You want to see people try hard and have a go, put themselves out there. So I want to share a bit of a story in the last few minutes. This is one of my fans. His name's Brandon. I think he's in year 8, I think, or year 9 this year. He was 14 when I last met him. So he's one of my fans on YouTube. And I love this guy, right? You can see he's kind of adorable in a lot of ways. Adorkable is a nice guess. He's a nice kid, really nice kid. Okay, so I normally tell this story when I'm in my classes and talk about motivational things because I met him and where this photo was taken. This photo was taken at Sydney. It's in Sydney. It was at the Indoor World Series. So one thing to do in my spare time, I play league and I do international competitions in archery. So we were in Sydney and this kid, Brandon, I'll tell the story. So Brandon, he competed in the youth division and he came 4th, which is in for Australia and New Zealand. It was really good. So he was quite happy with his 4th place. But what was really poggers in this one, right, was he was in the adult division the next day. And he was competing against people with international experience. The top tier were there were Olympic medalists from previous years, and he placed high enough to qualify for the knockouts, and then he was up against the number 1 in Australia in the quarterfinal. And the quarterfinal, the guy he was up against, Taylor Worth, he's a bronze medalist. He's been number 1 in Australia for the last 5 years, and he's facing this 14-year-old. And you gotta feel bad for Taylor because what do you do? What do you do when a 14-year-old qualifies and goes 1-on-1 with you in an archery contest, right? So if you lose, you've lost to a 14-year-old kid. But if you win, you just beat a 14-year-old kid. There's no moral victory here. But that's archery for you. Age doesn't really matter as much as talent, not talent, but hard work and consistency. So what happened was, Brandon had a pretty tough match. He was so quiet and so focused. It was at the very end. He said to me, "Hey David, this is like a boss battle." And he was so serious. And the one time he said that, I just cracked out laughing, and the whole audience just looked at me and went, "Don't worry, it's a joke." But he was such a good kid. Now he lost, unfortunately, but he could have won. It was actually really close. It was to the point where if his opponent missed one shot, that number 1 Australia would have been knocked out. That's how close it was. It was a very, very good match. And the guy, I watched him shoot, it was absolute perfection. And Brandon eventually lost the match. So the fact that he pushed him to play perfectly, to shoot perfectly, that was his achievement. And what's amazing about Brandon is that, the very next day, he was doing this. This is literally filmed the next day. He lost, and he felt really sad. You can tell he was crying. You see his eyes are teary because he thought he had a chance. This kid thought he had a chance against Australia's number 1 of the best archers in the world at the moment, and this kid thought he could win. And he came up crying. And I would say crying like a baby. It was kind of he was emotional. And people who work really hard at what they love are quite emotional. That's fair. But he was doing this the very next day. This is 5:30 the next day. He just lost the quarterfinal against the number 1 in the world, number 1 in Australia, and he was practicing again the very next day. And if anything, that has to scream dedication, right? I don't care how much we're joking around, but that has to scream dedication when people are working this hard and put themselves out there and coming back from all these difficulties, all these challenges. Because it wasn't a bad experience. For him, it was an amazing experience. Now, I want to finish up by looking at why this is such a big deal. Why am I spending so much time talking about brand and talking about timing? Because I've had the chance, the privilege to work with champions, Olympic medalists, Olympic coaches, Olympic talent. There's no doubt that someone like Brandon is going to be an Olympian because that's his dream. It might not be my dream anymore. I'm too old for this sort of stuff. I don't have time. I'm too much busy teaching or playing league, whatever. But for someone like Brandon, I can see the future in him. And he's the same age as you. I contacted his parents because I wanted to get an idea as to what he was doing with his time. Like, I know from the people who train at top level, it's almost a full-time. It is a full-time job. They'll wake up at 7, they'll train like till like 7 p.m. and it's like 7 days a week plus a break day or two. But it's hardcore. But what did Brand do? I want to show you his schedule. So this is from when I asked you what you do in the morning or what you do after school. This is what he does. This is an example. So Sunday morning, when you're sleeping in or playing League, he's getting up at 9. 9 is pretty early for him, right? Oh, pretty late for him. He gets up at 9, trains. 200 hours. That's 2.5 hours of training. Actual training in the morning. Study, homework in the afternoon, relax time, maybe some gaming. In the evening, if time permits. Not like he has to play games, but if he has time. 8 p.m. mindset work. This is a lot of mindfulness, mental training, visualization. He's actually his mum's a life coach, so this is what they do. At 8 p.m. they actually sit down, they write the goals, they go through self-development talk, and they do reflection every single day. Look at Monday. After school homework and study, then training, put even 15 minutes of push-ups and chin-ups. He's a young kid, he's growing. And then 8 p.m. mindset work, visualization, sleep at 10. Tuesday, archery after school, homework, mental training, sleep 10 p.m. Wednesday, gym session at school, evening, homework and study, mental training, sleep 10 p.m. Thursday, rest day, homework, mental training, sleep 10 p.m. Friday, after school training. That's again 2.5 hours. I used to do this at school by the way. Let's see, practice, relax in the evening, mental training, sleep 11 later. This is his break day. He sleeps at 11. Saturday morning training, Sunday morning training, and so on. That's his schedule. And to a lot of us who are reading this, you might think, what the hell? Like, who wakes up in the morning like that? Who does that? But that's exactly the sort of thing which we need to respect. That's why my final slide here is time. And what I want to end up with this live stream, for this session for you guys, is why is time something we spend so freely? We're so happy to spend an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 playing League or playing Fortnite or whatever. And we know because games are short. We know that a game of League might take 25 minutes for a short game. It might be 45 minutes for a long game. And we play one, we play another. And it doesn't matter what game you play. You might play like Valorant. You might play Rainbow Six Siege. And the matches seem short, but you play like 5 rounds at a time. So, what might be a 20-minute gaming session turns to a 1-hour gaming session. But 20 minutes, for those who play music, for those who do sport, 20 minutes is basically an exercise. You can do a physical workout. You can have a piano practice session. You can do 20 minutes of language practice. Something else in that 20 minutes can be used and transferred to, sorry about the screen there, can be used to do something else. And that's why a lot of us are trapped in this mindset where we can only we go to the same habits every single night, where we just play games. And we all do this now in lockdown. I understand where we're coming from. But when we go out of lockdown, when we start seeing things in the future, I want you to think about, can I play one less game and then use the time to do something else? Because at the end of the day, nobody cares about your rank. I've known this for a long time. And I'll give you my secret advice here, right? This is like 16-year-old missing the win. Will my rank in League get me a girlfriend? That is a legitimate question. Right? Are people going to be that impressed if you flex your mastery or flex your rank? People don't really care. And I'm not saying don't play games, these things don't matter. Some people care about that. It's a personal achievement, and that's fine. But there are many things you can do with your time right now. And you can see the results of that, where somebody can balance playing games, their study, their time off, but also focus on a goal which few people can achieve. Whether it's being in Olympic Games, whether it's been making a YouTube channel, being Australian of the Year, that sort of stuff. So many people will achieve things not because they're talented, not because they're a freak of nature, but because they're willing to put the time in to do what they want. And we shouldn't judge them negatively for that, and we shouldn't be jealous, because anyone can do this if you're willing to put in time. Just think about next time you log into League, that perhaps that half an hour you spend could be spent doing something else. If you're still around, I know many of you are joining a different session, but if you're still around, I've got one more screen for you, one more question perhaps, and that is, if you're still here, what are you going to do after this to level up? Just think about what we said before. If you're still watching this, what would you do going forward that you wouldn't do otherwise? Are you going to perhaps change your gaming habits? Maybe spend half an hour less, play one less game? What are you going to do? I will leave this here for you to think about. I know many of you already joined your next session, but I hope you found this talk interesting and helpful. Whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching afterwards, I do hope that you make the most of your time. I do hope that you stay safe and look after yourselves. And hopefully when we get out of lockdown, when this COVID-19 thing is over, you have some more specific goals that you can motivate yourself to do. Whether it's a personal well-being one, a fitness one, a gaming one, who knows. But whatever the case, thanks for your patience, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, hope you enjoy yourself. And perhaps in the future, we might game together, perhaps something better. Alright, take care of yourselves, guys. I'm Mr. Nguyen. Of course, make sure you subscribe to my other channel, the bigger one. And you guys stay safe, okay? Take care of yourselves.